Hi, I'm Gail.
And hi, I'm Catherine. And welcome to Women Over 70 Aging Reimagined, our weekly podcast. Our signature is sharing stories of vital women between the ages of 70 to 100 plus who shatter the myth that we become irrelevant as we age. So be sure to visit womenover70.com and make a donation, join the Aging Reimagined Circle, and visit the Books by Women section. Invite us to conduct a workshop or speak to your organization. And we share relevant clips from our podcast guests and offer numerous programs to enrich women's lives.
And today we are excited to welcome to Women Over 70 Aging Reimagined, Dr. Jan Fortman. How often do I get to bring on a guest who shares my exact birthday, the same day and year? And what we learn now is that Jan is older than I am by 3 hours. I was glad to hear that, Jan. So Dr. Fortman is 80 and lives in the Chicago area. She spent many years as a teacher and administrator for the Chicago Public Schools and retired from there in 2007. But Jan wasn't done. She began giving educational workshops, which soon turned into workshops on relationships and communication. What is most intriguing now is that having experienced a difficult relationship with your own mother, you're offering workshops and coaching sessions to adult daughters and their moms. And to make yourself even more available, you have 2 TV shows, Relativity Matters and the Mother-Daughter Relationship Show. You'll have to tell us more about that soon. And as if all of that didn't keep you busy enough, you competed and won the title of Miss Senior Illinois 2022. And you're going to compete in the national competition in September. And we know you're going to win for sure.
Thank you.
You know, I Googled you and you're all over the internet. And every time I see a picture of you, your face is lit up by the work you are doing. So Jan, again, welcome. And would you start this by sharing with us what drives your passion about the work you're doing now?
Well, thank you. First of all, I want to thank you, Gail and Catherine, for having me on today. I really appreciate it. To tell you the truth, I just enjoy helping people and educating people. But what my husband tells me is that I just like to tell people what to do. So, so that might be it. But, you know, ever since I just started out teaching, it's just something that I enjoy. I enjoy imparting information. I enjoy motivating people. I enjoy inspiring people. And it does light me up. It really does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it shows for sure. So you talk about relationship coaching with moms and daughters. And you mentioned when we spoke that your relationship with your own mother had been difficult. So has this relationship improved? And tell us a little bit more about this work that you're doing.
Well, she passed in 2017, but I would say right before she passed, our relationship started getting better. But I'm the only girl, and I have 3 brothers. And as I got older, our relationship just started changing. People would say to us that, oh, you all are so much alike, which is why, you know, you bump heads, you don't get along sometimes. And I used to think that it was just me by myself, that I was alone in this, you know, all the other women I knew, they were having such wonderful relationships with their moms. At least that's what I thought. And but the more I talked about it, the more I complained to some of my girlfriends, I would get little, you know, bits and pieces of what was going on with their mom. So one day I was in a restaurant complaining to one of my girlfriends, and a lady sitting in the booth behind me said, I don't mean to interrupt, but I'm having the same problems with my mom. We're having problems communicating, you know, we argue a lot, and I just don't understand what was going, you know, what was wrong. So I started just asking around. I did some research, 50 women anonymous across the United States. And I was surprised that it was almost 80% of the adult daughters that were saying that, they had these issues, with their moms, that they were having challenges in that relationship. And so that's when I decided to, do some more research. And then I decided to write a book about it. And the more I researched, the more I started understanding that you can't change your mother, but you can change the way that you respond to challenging situations. And I decided then that not only I understood my mom more, but I thought just from people talking with me and asking me different questions, that I thought, this is something I can do from my research and my experience and helping other women with the relationships with their mothers and their daughters.
Are there some common themes that you hear, common issues?
Yes, most of it is that communication, that there's this what can I say? What mom says this and I say that. Mom is still trying to control me. I'm 30 years old, I'm 40, I'm 50. My mom does not see me as an adult. And that really was the common thread. And so what would happen, the daughters really started resenting their moms, because of the way they felt that their moms were speaking with them and treating them.
And so, what have you learned that can make a difference?
Communication. It's so different. And listening, because when we speak or we're having a relationship with someone and they're talking with us or speaking with us, and it's something that they're saying that we don't agree with, then what we're doing is listening to respond instead of really listening to find out, exactly where they're coming from. What is it that they actually mean? It could be something as simple as, and I'll just use me. Oh, Janice, I like that dress that you have on today. Now, I could be in here. Oh, you didn't like the one I had on yesterday? Well, what's the difference between the dress I had on today or yesterday? Or, oh, you cut your hair. Why did you cut your hair? And then you get on the defensive instead of thinking, like, why is she saying this? Let me listen. Why, mom? Why you like this dress? I mean, it's a way of communicating. Well, why did you like this dress better than you like the one I had on yesterday? And then she, rather than resenting what she said, it's like, oh, so it's really, I found out that it's just the way that we communicate with our moms, actually.
Yeah.
I'm the mom. And
Okay.
my daughter's 32, and she says, you ask too many questions. I will tell you what you need to know.
But you know what? But you're coming from the mom. You're the mom. Right. And so that's where you're coming from. You're concerned, or you want to know. But daughters can resent that because a lot of times they see it as controlling.
Yes, micromanage.
Yes, micromanaging. You're asking all these questions. Why? So you can give me advice that I have not asked for.
Yeah.
So wait. Stop asking all those questions. Right.
So many of the women we talk with really bring up this issue that you're talking about, relationships with their adult children and probably adult daughters more so.
Mm-hmm.
Have
Any
you
other
come
tips?
across sorry, Catherine, if I interrupted you. Have you come across any mother and daughters who are actually estranged from each other, who no longer are talking with each other?
Yes, yes, yes. And two instances. One instance was this particular mom. She said that when her daughters would tell her different things, and she would say, well, you should do this, you should do that, you shouldn't have done this, you shouldn't have done that. And what happened, two daughters, her daughters, she started telling me, they don't call me anymore. When I call them, they don't pick up the phone. And I know they know it's me. And I haven't talked with them in a couple of months. And so when we started talking about the conversations, I said, you know what? Stop saying you should and you shouldn't, because they're resenting that. So therefore, your conversations are not pleasant. They're not positive. So no, they're not calling you. No, they're not coming to see you, because they don't want to interact with you the way you're interacting with them. So stop saying you should. Whenever they tell you, if they ask your advice, don't even say you should have or you should. Say, well, what do you think? Or have you thought about this? And so when she was doing that, she was one of my coaching clients. And she said, well, you know what? Our relationship seems to be getting better. But then what happened? She went back to her old self. Mm. So now here lately, she started backing up again. And her relationship is much better. She says, I had to zip my lip, because instead of, I wanted to say what you should have done or you should do, but I stopped. The other, she has been estranged with her mom. She left home when she was 17. Well, this particular situation was that she didn't know who her father was. And her mom would never tell her. But her mother would say, oh, you're just like your father. Ooh. Don't listen. You this, you that, you this, the other. And so, but as we went on and found out the story, I said, hey, have you ever really talked with your mother, like woman to woman? Try to talk with her, not as daughter to mother. Well, she found out that her father left her mother, and her mother was still in love with the father and resented the fact that the father left. And because she is the spitting image of her father, okay, and her son was also the spitting image of his grandfather, of her father, because she couldn't understand why her mom didn't treat her son, in a loving way. Well, after we got, this took a while, but after we got really back into, what was going on, she stopped resenting her mother, and she would talk to her mother, a little bit about her father until the whole thing came out. Mm-hmm. And she is no longer estranged, because I couldn't understand. She wouldn't call her mother or mom or mama. She would call her mother by her first name. Mm-hmm. Well, once she found all of this out, she did, do a search, and she did find her father. Not only did she find her father, she also found a whole nother family. And she got all the backstories and everything. And now she understands. She says, my mother is still in love with my father. Mm. Mother never got married again or anything. And so now she says, now I understand, because I just really didn't. I just thought she, just didn't like me. She hated me and hated my son. Yeah.
Wow.
It's so many. I get so many stories, you know.
What's the format of your mother-daughter relationship show?
What I've been doing is I give tips, tools, techniques on different issues that you might be having with your mom or with your adult daughter. So it can be about communication. It can be about looking back at your family history, because sometimes it's generational. And so it's different things. So what I've been doing is just giving tools and techniques, but now I'm going to start, just like my Relationship Matters show, is start having different guests on to talk about whatever they want to talk about. If they want to talk about the particular issue that they're having, or if they're experts in the field of mother-daughter relationships. And there are not too many, so I found.
Do you bring mothers and daughters onto the show?
Well,
have you thought about doing that?
let me tell you this. In my group coaching, I found out you cannot do that. I have to have the mother in a group, and the daughters in another group. When it's one-on-one, first the mother, then the daughter, because there are usually two sides to the story.
Yeah.
And then when I feel as though I can bring them together, I do. So to have them on the show together, not unless they have, resolved their issues and their challenges. But
It'd be more like Jerry Springer.
right. And don't want a Jerry Springer show.
Judge Judy. Well, it's great work that you're doing. It's important work. Very important. And where are these TV shows so people can listen?
Well, the Relationship Matters TV show is on the E360 TV network. It's also on Roku. And then on my Facebook page, Janice Hooker-Fortman. And also, on other different platforms, on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, Dr. Janice Hooker-Fortman. The mother-daughter relationship show is on the Win Women TV network, and also on Roku. And the mother-daughter relationship show is at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time every Tuesday, but it is recorded. So you can watch it anytime. And also the Relationship Matters TV show is live streamed 7 p.m. Thursday evening Central Standard Time.
Oh, what is the Relationship Matters show? How is that different?
Well, that's different because I have different people on, and we talk about how relationships have impacted what they do now, their services, their products. So we talk about personal and professional relationships. And I have all kinds of people on, from comedians to politicians to hypnotherapists to different entrepreneurs. And it actually is a very interesting show. I learned so much myself.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Going back to the fact that I Googled you and you're all over the internet, do you have a media person who works with you? How do you get all this exposure, Jan?
That's me. I'm the media person.
You're the media person.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about how you think about that.
It's a lot, but it keeps me busy, and it keeps my mind working. When you get to be a certain age, you really need to keep your mind going. And I figure I'm a lifelong learner. And so not only the media person, but then I started learning how to do my own promos and videos. So yeah. But there are times when I do get overwhelmed. And I will call in an assistant, like, you got to do this because I can't.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a lot to keep up for sure.
Yeah.
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 What was the book that you wrote, Jen?
The book that I wrote is The Secrets to How Not to Throw Mama from the Train.
I love it. Yeah.
And it's all about how to navigate the challenges in the adult daughter, aging mother relationship. And it's my story and other women who contributed, who I talked with. And so some of it is serious. Some of it is a little funny because, they tell me different things that they've had to do with coping. And I give some stress relief tools and talk about prayer. And so that's what my book is about.
That's terrific. That's great. So on to another topic. Miss Senior Illinois. How did you get into that? What made you decide to do that?
A friend of mine. And she said, I'm Miss Matchison, Senior Matchison, Illinois. I'm like, what is that about? So she told me, you need to get in it. And I thought, nah, I don't want to do that. But then as time went on, I thought, what the heck? And so I became Miss Calumet City first. And then they had the Miss Senior Illinois contest and that pageant. And since I was Miss Calumet City, Illinois, I competed in that one. And much to my amazement, I won.
So what did you compete with? What did you have to do?
Well, first I had to go in a room with 5 judges, and they asked me, what did they tell me? In 10 minutes, they were going to ask me at least 20 to 25 questions off the top of my head. And I was told beforehand, whatever they ask you, answer. Don't go off into a background, just answer specifically what they ask. And they're going to judge you from the time you walk in that door. and so I had to do that. And then there was the talent part of it. And my talent is singing.
Oh.
And I sang, if I can help somebody as they pass along the way, or as I pass along the way. Then it was the evening gown. And then after the evening gown, it's one question. And that was it.
I noticed they don't have the bathing suit competition anymore.
And I asked that. No bathing
gown.
So what are your responsibilities as Miss Senior Illinois?
Actually, it's making a lot of public appearances and letting them know what my platform is. And I've been in maybe 3 parades, doing the right. And also publicizing the Miss Senior America contest. Mm-hmm.
I'm curious, what was the last question they asked you? Do you remember?
Yes, which was a good question for me. It was, if you are in front of students, what would you tell them? And I'm a retired teacher.
Yes.
I like that question. And what I told them, what I said was, whatever you perceive, you can achieve. Whatever you perceive, you can achieve. That's it, because they wanted one line.
Okay. That's a line I use a lot.
Okay.
I believe it. I really do.
And I used to tell my students that. don't say what you cannot do. Oh, I can't do this, and oh, I don't know. No. If you perceive it and you work for it, you can achieve it.
Mhm. Right.
And what is your platform?
My platform is it's never too late, no matter what it is you think you want to do. If you have a dream, you have a goal, and you have not achieved it or you have not done it, go for it. It's never too late. My grandmother's cousin, she was 94, sitting in a rocking chair, and she told me that you don't want to sit in your rocking chair and start thinking, what if I had them? What if I would have? She said, no, you want to be like me, Janice. And I have done everything I thought I wanted to do.
That's true. My uncle used to say, the woulda, coulda, shoulda club.
Okay.
You don't want to be a part of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So do you think about your later decades?
Do I have one? Maybe so I think actually when I'm in my 90s, because my mom lived to be 98 and she was still going. But when I'm in my 90s, if I can continue to do what I'm doing and I still have it here, I would like to continue it. Maybe not as much, but just continue doing what I'm doing.
Wonderful. Yeah. That's really great. And so this is the work that you are loving and you're passionate about it and you want to continue doing it, and you're making a big splash, Jan.
Thank you, Gail.
You really are. Yeah. And we're honored to have had you on our show.
Thank you so much. And it was an honor for me, number one, Gail, to see you again.
You too, Jan.
And to be on the show. And it's an honor to meet you, Catherine.
Thank you. And you as well. And talk about shattering the myths that we become irrelevant as we age. You're our spokeswoman.
Yes.
Thank you.
For sure.
Thank
Great.
you. Thank you.
Keep up the great work.
Thank you. Thank you. And my book is available on Amazon.com.
Great.
The Secrets How Not to Throw Mama from the Train.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.